watched about 1,000 videos on how to release a new album in 2025, and I've decided to ignore all their advice and just follow my gut instincts on how I feel a DIY album should be released in 2025. Now, this method is not for the faint-hearted. It has the potential to backfire. So I'm not saying this is the best way or the only way. But for now, this is our way. I just want to share my reasoning. And I don't have all the answers. The reality of the music industry is nobody has the answers right now. So I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything I'm about to say. Now, one thing that sort of people might like to say is you shouldn't be in the music for the money. And that's correct. It's not about being in it for the money. It's about at least just trying to break even. And it's about thinking of a way to make the system work for underground artists. You shouldn't have to be rich to release music. And that's where we're going. The lack of working class artists has always been an issue, but it's getting worse and worse as the cost of living rises. And it's the reason that radio and Spotify playlists are riddled with posh, twee, generic, middle of the road pish. And that's before AI even warms up. AI's at the side of the pitch, doing its stretches, ready to make even more pish. And if we don't start thinking out the box, we are about to witness the death of music and the death of truth in our lifetime. So I released an album today called Dreams Are Mental by the Gyro Babies, but you won't find it on any streaming platforms. You can't even download it on iTunes. I considered releasing it via our website, but we don't have a website. You call that radio's got a website, but the Gyro Babies doesn't have a website. But I decided against that. I could have made a website quickly, but the reason I decided to go for Bandcamp is that we've actually already got a bit of a following on Bandcamp. I don't know, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people who should get a notification when we release a new project. And I know a lot of people like myself as well. They like to support new music. And there's an option to add it to your collection as well. And I think that you can listen to it on the app offline as well. It's not just the fact that it's on Bandcamp, but I've also made it private. So the only way you can actually listen to the album is by ordering a CD or a vinyl or buying a digital download. If you buy a CD or a vinyl, you get a free digital download with it. And I have a few songs on there to give people a flavour of what to expect. Now, the way you do that is you get Bandcamp Pro, which is about £8 a month. And that means I can have the album up there, leave 9 songs private. Now, the industry and society at large tells us that people will not pay for music anymore. We should just give up and invest our time and our money into making Spotify shareholders another few £100 billion. It costs a lot of money to make an album. The time and energy it takes to write it and rehearse it, the producer, the recording time, and then you've got to pay for CDs, vinyls, artwork, and then you've got to spend time and money promoting it as well. The argument used to be promote it on Spotify and then you'll make your money touring or in merch or whatever. But because the arse has fallen out the live circuit due to the cost of living, we've got to have a look at this again. We really do. Venues are shutting down, promoters are taking less chances, or they're offering less money, and the price of petrol, accommodation, food, drinks, spiralling out of control. Musicians are being told to charge less for tickets, but pay double for everything. And there's obviously a far more complex issue going on that would only really be resolved by taxing billionaires and investing in the grassroots of the music scene. But I don't have time to fix all of that this week. That's out of my control. But what is in my control and what's in the control of every single individual musician is just reconsidering how we cooperate with Spotify and the rest of the streaming platforms. I'm not talking about an all-out boycott. I'm just talking about renegotiating our relationship with these platforms and making them work for us instead of us working for them. Now, just to clarify, I use Spotify Premium. I use YouTube Premium. It's my job to listen to new music. It's my job to keep up to date with news and podcasts and stuff like that. And as a consumer, it's a very good deal. You know, for a tenner, I think both are about a tenner each. You're getting everything, pretty much everything that you could want, and you don't have to deal with adverts. I don't have time to deal with adverts. I don't want to listen to adverts. So at the minute, me cancelling either of those services is not an option for me. And what is my one-man boycott going to do? I actually did boycott Spotify for years, and it didn't make any difference. So I'm a hypocrite. You can call me a hypocrite because I use these services. They work very well. But the point is that the money is not trickling down to the artists. So I'm just coming from a purely selfish point of view here. And hopefully this advice might help a few other struggling DIY musicians as well. So I'm going to give my 4 tips on how to make this work. And if enough people did this, then maybe Spotify would have to reevaluate how they're paying artists. Or maybe we could get to a place where they would give artists an upfront fee for licensing their album on their platforms. But that's for another day. In the short term, what you want to do is release your album on Bandcamp Friday. Bandcamp doesn't take any cut on Bandcamp Friday. I wish I did that for the pre-release as well, the pre-order day, which was back in December. But I had to release it. I think if you've got 3 months, you're allowed to release it 3 months in advance, just to kind of figure out how many vinyl, how many CDs you're going to need to order. So I missed the December cut-off, and then in January and February they didn't have a Bandcamp Friday, so that wasn't an option. So get your pre-order it about 3 months before on a Bandcamp Friday. You get 100% of all the order money. And then you release your pre-order on a Bandcamp Friday as well. And hopefully the word of mouth and the buzz generated by that means more people will pay for the album, because it's the only way they're going to be able to hear the album is either by paying for a vinyl, a CD, or a digital download. And as I said, everyone who pays for a vinyl or a CD gets a free digital download as well. Number 2, release 1 or 2 singles before the pre-order. So before you actually put the pre-order on Bandcamp, get a banger of a tune out, maybe 2, before the pre-order goes out. And then when you're actually releasing the pre-order, drop another single as well. You're wanting really to have about 3 or 4 songs out there for this to work, I would guess, because you want people to be able to stream 3 or 4 songs and go, right, that's my kind of music. I'm willing to take a chance and pay for the rest of the album. Releasing the singles that are not in Bandcamp, feel free to use Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Put it on everywhere. Get at least one decent music video if you can afford it. And also make multiple short 15 to 45 second clips. I use Canva or Premiere Pro, but other apps are available. And just little wee clips that you can maybe drop one every day or every couple of days, just to let people know that you've got a new single out. That should direct them to the streaming platforms, the ones that they use. And hopefully, eventually, they will land on your Bandcamp page. And yet, number 3, the day before you release the album, to everyone who's pre-ordered, sign up to Bandcamp Pro. I think it's about £8 per month. You can cancel any time. it does a lot of things that I don't really use it. You can batch upload, you can add music videos and stuff, but the main thing is that you can make individual tracks private or public, and that's how this technique works. Number 4, the next stage is still up for grabs, but my plan just now is just to keep the album private until everyone has received their vinyl and CDs, because in the past I've had people complaining, they bought their vinyl in January and people are getting to hear the album before them. It's just, I've just to put it down, it's an unavoidable thing that happens sometimes. But this time, I feel like there's people, even though they've got the free digital download just now, they want to wait and enjoy the experience of playing it on the record player or the CD player. So I think we're aiming to get our vinyl and CDs in time for the album launch. Our album launch is the 29th of March at Slay, by the way. Tickets still on sale. So hopefully we'll get the CD and vinyl to everybody for the launch. And then just think about it. Obviously, it would be better for us if our albums are on all streaming platforms. It means that everybody who's coming at the gig will learn the songs, and there'll be more people singing along. They come back from the gig, they maybe play us all that weekend or the week after. So there is a negative side to doing this, and that is there's going to be less streams. But what does that matter, really, in the grand scheme of things? I feel like it's a Ponzi scheme of some sort. That, the more numbers you get, the more it's going to suggest and recommend to new fans. That doesn't seem to ever really happen. And we've got over 1,000 followers on Spotify, and we get told once you hit 1,000, that's when it starts suggesting it to random people. If you're a random person who'd never heard of us or band but found us through Spotify, then please let me know in the comments. I've yet to meet one of these people in real life. So I think the plan going forward is to maybe just keep releasing singles on Spotify and YouTube and Apple every couple of weeks now until festival season. I think there might be a benefit to have the album everywhere by festival season, because you're going to have so many new people who have just seen our name on a poster, or they're looking at the programme and they think, we'll check them out. So part of me might fold and put the albums up there eventually. But for the time being, I would just like to be stronger and just not do it. The point is not to try and boycott these platforms. They're too popular. They're too convenient at the moment. The point is to reward your true fans with a first listen before anyone else. And people that enjoy underground music will also enjoy the fact that they're supporting a DIY project. I know that I do. I know that I enjoy. I just bought a couple albums on Bandcamp Friday there myself. And I feel good about that, because I know it's going directly into a skint artist's pocket. People who actually care about your music are not going to blink at throwing £8 at a digital album, or a tenner on a CD, or 20 quid on a vinyl. If they really enjoy your music and they support you, they should do that. There might be a few folk that are literally too skint. If that's the case, if you're a genuinely skint and you send me a message, then I'll send you a code. I'll send you a download code so you can hear it for free, especially if you're somebody that supported the band in the past. By using this technique, it's going to give your album an air of mystique, which is the complete opposite of any advice you're going to get from anyone else on YouTube. The usual way is saturation and putting it everywhere. So the negative side is that we're definitely going to lose a few thousand streams. We're going to lose a bit of buzz. And there's some things like, maybe some reviewers or Scottish Album of the Year. I mean, how does that work? Because all the judges from Scottish Album of the Year aren't going to pay for a download to listen to an album. So there's a few things to bear in mind. There is some negatives, but I've sort of estimated that we will lose maybe 10,000 streams by doing it this way. Now, that lost revenue can be made up with 2 digital downloads. So what is the big deal? It's the numbers. Why are we so obsessed with these numbers? They're meaningless numbers. The money that you make back can pay off the debts of making an album. The money you make back could go towards touring. It could go towards making a new music video. It goes back into the band kitty. So in short, the technique's going to make you more money, less streams, more mystique, less buzz. Remember to subscribe, and I'll give you a wee update in the summer to let you know if I ended up regretting this decision. And let me know in the comments, am I being stupid? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Tell me why, because like I said, nobody has all the answers. Everybody's just winging it, and I've decided to just go against the grain a wee bit and just not give all my music for free at the first kick of a ball, just so that I can look good to who? Who am I trying to impress with Spotify numbers? Fuck it. Anyway, that's my Bandcamp technique. Bye!